Saints special teams, they need to improve their starting point this year, one of the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's going to start with just plain old good tackling. They need to get better at the fundamental of tackling.
Gardaki booms it, and we are underway. And this will be Ishmael at the 8. And it's a reverse, or a fake reverse. Ishmael keeps it. He's got a little room. He's coming up over the 30, up to the 34-yard line before he is knocked down. A 27-yard return for the New Orleans Saints. They'll start on offense with Danny Werfel at the quarterback spot. Werfel making his 4th start in the NFL. Got his first win as a Saint, first win in the NFL 2 weeks ago against the Carolina Panthers. Up front, William Rofe, Andy McCollum, Jerry Fontenot, and Chris Naoli. Kyle Turley, the rookie, going out at the right tackle for Clarence Jones. The backs, Lamar Smith and Ray Zellers. Hastings and Dawkins at the receiver spot. Number 2 pick, Cameron Cleland, is the tight end. 1st and 10 from the 35. Werfel to throw. He's got Craver out on the outside. Craver cannot hang on to it. We'll take a look at this Indianapolis Colts defense up front. Al Fontenot and Dan Footman are out of this one, so starting at ends will be Bernard Whittington and Bertrand Berry. Inside, Ellis Johnson and Tony McCoy. Your linebackers, Andre Royal, a former Saint, Jeff Herrod, and Steve Morrison. Defensive backfield, Tyrone Poole and Jeff Burris picked up in the offseason at the corners. Blackman and Belser, the leading tacklers, tied with 24 at the safety spot. 2nd down and 10 for Danny Werfel. Werfel will throw again. He's got Andre Hastings brought down by Jeff Herrod after a pickup of 6 yards, and Danny Werfel comes out throwing again. This is what he did against Carolina.
You know, we talked about the run and how the Saints have been doing a very good job of that. But you see they come out and they throw 2 passes, and that's part of Danny Abramowitz, the offensive coordinator, saying, I am not afraid to take Danny Werfel, a guy who's coming in for the injured Billy Joe Hobart, and making things happen with him. He wants to let everybody know that I will try to win the game with this guy, and that we are capable of moving the ball with this quarterback.
Saints are 38% on the year on 3rd downs. They'll try to convert this one. Werfel's pass goes incomplete.
I don't know if Lamar Smith even looked for the ball.
Didn't look like he was ready for it.
No, he wasn't ready for that, and he should have been. The 1st down marker's coming up. But those are the kind of plays that this Colt defense has to make. They've got to get off the field. As we look at Tony McCoy, defensive lineman there, they've got to get off the field and give their offense a chance to make some points.
Mark Royals booms this away to Tyrone Poole. Poole inside his 10. He'll take it from the 5. He's got a little room. He'll take it up to the 16-yard line. An 11-yard return tackled by Chris Hewitt. Let's take a look at this Colts offense. The man, the trigger man, a young man, the rookie Peyton Manning, starting at quarterback. 7th in the NFL in pass yards. I thought his first game against Miami was perhaps his best game, but they say he keeps making steady improvements. Up front, Tarek Glenn, Steve McKinney, Jay Leuenberg, Tony Mandrich, and Adam Meadows, the offensive line. Backs and receivers, Marshall Falk. He's a good one. They'll start 2 tight ends in Dilger and Pollard. The receivers are rookie Payton and Harrison. 1st down and 10. And Manning will go play action. He's got Harrison open at the 30. Harrison with the reception.
Great call.
Brought down by Mark Fields, but not until they get a 1st down. Let's take a look at that Saints defense. A very good defense. Up front, Joe Johnson and Brady Smith are the tackles. Leroy Glover and Wayne Martin very tough on the inside. Your linebackers are led by Mark Fields, number 55. Kevin Mitchell and Keith Mitchell. No, they're not brothers, but they're playing pretty good. At the secondary, Tyrone Drakeford and Alex Molden at the corners. Chad Cota and Rob Kelly, the safeties. Kelly filling in for an injured Sammy Knight. 1st down and 10 at the 37 for Peyton Manning. And he'll give it off to Falk on the left side. And there is no room in the middle. Joe Johnson along with Wayne Martin on the stop.
Well, everyone knows this game rests in the hands mainly of the quarterback, the rookie quarterback, and that's Peyton Manning. And you saw right off the bat, they started in a 2 tight end formation, and they've been in that the last couple of weeks because of the injury to the fullback, Zach Crockett.
The other thing they like out of that is better protection options. And in terms of protecting young Peyton Manning.
And you see here, this is one thing that Manning has done a lot of, and that's the audible. And that doesn't help.
Ken Dilger went a little early. Now referee Larry Nemers will sort it out. Nemers, excuse me.
Full start, offense, 85, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Those are little dumb mistakes that you can't have. I mean, it's hard enough. You're going to have a young quarterback in there, and you're trying to make your offense work. He tries to call a simple audible. And right at the bottom of your screen, 85, that's Ken Dilger. For whatever reason, he doesn't get the play change, and all it does is make it harder. Now you're looking at a second and about 15.
2 tight ends still in the game for the Colts. Marshall Falk in the backfield. Manning to throw quick. He hits the rookie Peyton on the slant, but he's not able to hang on to it.
You know, people can say that, well, rookie quarterbacks are struggling in the league and that it's going to be tough and they got to do this and that. Well, that's got nothing to do right there with Peyton Manning. That ball should have been caught. I mean, he hits Peyton right in the hand.
Jerome Peyton, a rookie out of Washington, a second-round draft pick. Caught 69 balls and 8 touchdowns as a senior for Washington. 3rd and 15 now. Manning will go to the shotgun, a new wrinkle for them this week. 4 wide receivers in the game. That's Small in motion. Manning over the middle. Through the hands of Small. He's had 2 drops already.
Boy, this is unbelievable. You know, you think a team that's 0-3, your back is definitely against the wall, and you want to talk about helping out a young quarterback. That's 2 drops and an offside penalty. That's the quickest way I know, Ray, in the NFL to get yourself beat.
And bring out the punt team, and it's Chris Gardocki set to hit it deep to Andre Hastings. The Saints put on a bit of a rush. They get it away. Hastings with a fair catch at his 25-yard line. And that is where New Orleans will be back into business. After a 43-yard punt, the Saints got the ball. When we come back, it's 0-0 in Indy. Hi, Jim Mora used to coach these Saints a year and a half ago. He quit in mid-season. In 1996, Bill Polian brought him in to try and turn around this Indianapolis franchise. It'll be Smith in motion. They'll toss it outside to Ray Zellers. A flag goes down as Zellers goes downfield, picking up 15 yards. We'll find out what the infraction is. That's the running game these Saints talked about.
And I can tell you one thing. That's one guy who was very fired up to play against an old coach in Jim Mora, and that's Ray Zellers.
Well, it's all for now
Illegal
for Zellers.
motion on the offensive team. The back turned upfield too soon. Number 36, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, that's part of the motion. Now I want you to watch. That's Lamar Smith going in motion. What he does, he starts to work up toward the line of scrimmage. That's illegal. He can't do that. And that really wipes out a great run by Zellers.
So instead of a gain of 15, it's 1st and 15 for these New Orleans Saints. And the crowd begins to pick it up. Smith will go in motion to the other side. Werfel will throw the screen. His tight end Cam Cleveland. And Cleveland will take it up to the 25-yard line. Steve Morrison along with Jeff Herrod on the stop.
I can't imagine the Colts defense not putting in a better performance than they put in last week against the Jets. And when you give up 302 yards,
that's
somebody
just
rushing, and a team runs through you like that, and you have the missed tackles, and basically embarrassed. And like we said, when the general manager goes publicly and says you look like trash, that would get me fired up.
Yeah, he had some pretty bad adjectives to describe that Colt performance. They'll run the draw. This is Ray Zellers fighting up the middle for 2 yards. Zellers brought down again by Steve Morrison.
But you know, one of the reasons that Zellers and Smith have been able to run the ball so effectively, it has to do with 77 Willie Rowe. Now, he's lost some weight this year. He's lost about 19 pounds. He's trimmed down to a very streamlined 300. And because of that, he's a better run blocker.
I didn't know there was such a thing as a streamlined 300, but I guess if there is.
Well, for Willie, there is a streamlined 300.
All righty, we'll take it then. 3rd down and 7 now. Danny Werfel will work out of the shotgun. Cleveland in motion. The blitz is on from the Colts, who haven't had a sack all year. And now they do. No, they're going to say he got it away. An incomplete pass as Werfel dumped it off to Zellers. But Belzer had him by the ankles. Jason Belzer with the blitz.
They don't call in the grasp anymore. But Belzer, the safety, he makes the play. Watch to the right of your screen. He's going to come on the outside, and he beats Zellers inside. That's a nice effort by Belzer, and that's a throwaway there. He just tried to avoid the sack. But they call it an incomplete pass.
So on fourth down, Mark Royals will kick this one away. Tyrone Poole deep to return. A nice kick. Poole will take it from the 23.
Oh!
But steps out of bounds.
Woo! And you see the way
you
see the way he's running now. He's one man away from making that play. And both teams have complained about special teams.
So the Colts will have the football when we return. The score 0-0. First and 10, Peyton Manning back to throw. He gives the pump fake, and he's going deep. And he's got his man. It's the rookie Jerome Payton on a bomb from Peyton Manning.
The Saints defensive coaches were worried about one thing playing the Colts. When is Peyton Manning going to have that breakout game? And they thought if they could get one corner, it would be Tyrone Drakeford. They feel that he's coming from San Francisco as a free agent, playing predominantly zone-type coverages out there, and wasn't the man-to-man coverage guy that Alex Molden was on the other side.
A 40-yard connection from Peyton Manning to Jerome Payton. All the way down to the 23-yard line of the Saints. They'll pitch it out to Falk, and Falk is met in the backfield by a blitzing Mark Fields. Right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Sense of urgency for the 0-2 Panthers. A Jeff Brady interception set up this touchdown strike from Terry Collins to Rocket Ismail. 5-yard TD. Panthers on top of the Packers by 10 in the first. Back to Ray Bentley and Ron Hicks.
Wow.
Nothing like a sense of urgency, and I think we just saw a sense of urgency here with that long throw to Payton.
Nickel defense in for the Saints as the Colts go into a 3-wide package. Manning will run the draw to Marshall Falk, and there is nowhere to go as a jailbreak. Leroy Glover leading the charge.
The Saints front four may be one of the best in football. I mean, they are intimidating, dominating, and they come off the ball. Leroy Glover, 97, is the guy who brings you to the Terror Dome, as they say every week. He's just so fast inside with his hands. Look, that's the first thing Marshall Falk gets to see. Good Sunday morning.
He worked on the veteran center, Jay Lewenberg. One-armed him out of the way. Third down and 19 for the Colts. They're in a 3-wide shotgun formation. Manning flushed out of the pocket by Joe Johnson. Johnson got him down. That's a sack. Joe Johnson.
And the worst part about that sack for Indianapolis is that really pushes them back in terms of a field goal. They're going to, looks like they're going to try it. But that front four, that rush is just so intimidating for the Saints.
52 consecutive games now. The New Orleans Saints have put the quarterback on his back. That was the 3rd sack of the year for Joe Johnson. It'll bring out Mike Vanderjagt, who's going to try a 52-yard field goal. The first field goal he ever kicked in the NFL, a 51-yarder. Set. It's a low liner. It's got the distance, and it is good for Mike Vanderjagt. He is perfect on the year, and he gets our points. The first points on the board, a 52-yarder, and Indianapolis takes a 3-0 lead over New Orleans. All game, and they score their first quarter points. A career-long 52-yard field goal. Chris Gardocki kicks this deep, and Kadri Ishmael lets it bounce around in the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Saints will take over 1st and 10 on their 20. And this has got to pump up this Indianapolis team. They finally have a lead.
Well, the one thing that Mike Ditka said last night is that I am concerned and only concerned about killing ourselves. The mistakes, penalties, turnovers. You know, they preach turnovers so much in training camp. They showed a highlight film of all the turnovers they had.
It was like a 3-hour film. They had 55
right.
last year.
He said that's what we're trying to worry about right now. Not that they're sliding the Colts at all.
1st down and 10. Werfel will hand it to Lamar Smith, and Smith will pick up 6 yards on a tough run up the middle before he is brought down by Bertrand Berry.
Hey, guys.
Lamar Smith, a native of the area here nearby Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's doing that damage in the backfield there. With Zellers. Got about 50 tickets for this game, as you'd expect.
Herod on the blitz. This will be Smith. Finding room on the outside of the right side, bowling his way up to the 39-yard line. Lamar Smith brought down by Jeff Burris.
See, if you're going to buy a lot of tickets for family and friends, then you have to show up and make plays. And, you know, we talk about the incentive that a lot of guys have that are playing in this game. Well, that's his incentive there. He's from the area, and that's just a good job of following your blocks. At any time a cornerback has to come up like Burris does right there and make a tackle, similar to like he had to do last week a lot of times, that's not good.
1st and 10. Whoa, big hit from Jeff Herod. He met Lamar Smith in the middle of that hole and stopped him for a 2-yard gain, but that was a whack.
Hey, that reminded me of one of your hits.
Kind of felt good, didn't it?
Now, they've done some switching around here on this defensive line and that front 7 for the Colts. And Herod's a guy that's been around for quite a while. 11-year vet.
Spent last year with Philadelphia, but Herod came back to the Colts where he has actually led them in tackles for 7 of the last 9 years. 2nd down. This will be Smith on the sweep. And he weaves his way through traffic. Now he's got open field. It's a foot race. And he is brought down at the 30-yard line. The ball comes out late. One official says it's going to be down.
No, he's down. They're still calling him down.
A 36-yard pickup from number 36, Lamar Smith, and they're going to rule.
Ruled down by contact. First down.
Down by contact. That'll put the ball all the way inside the 30 to the 27-yard line.
Smith working that right side. He's on the breakout. Now here's where a guy is susceptible to the rip because he thinks he can break it all the way. Ooh. And that ball looked like it was out before his knee hit.
That ball was out.
See, poor Jason Belzer back there, he lost a helmet.
And that's a big break for the Indianapolis Colts as they keep this drive alive. Cleveland will switch sides. And Werfel will hand it off to Ray Zellers, and the flag comes out as Zellers picks up 6 more off the left side before Ellis Johnson can bring him down.
Holding. Offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Jerry Fontenot, the center.
Fontenot starting his 147th consecutive game.
That'll be the center right in the middle of the screen there, 62. You can see he's got his man just locked up. That's Ellis Johnson, 62. I mean, he had a nice bear hug around his waist.
And it'll cost the Saints 10 yards. It'll be first down and 20 now. And Werfel will run the draw, and this is Zellers again, pounding up the middle for 7 more before he is brought down by Steve Morrison.
This is the same thing that happened to the Colts last week. They got blocked man for man. And any time that as an offensive coordinator you can devise a scheme and you can get a hat on a hat, you have got something going on. And as a defensive coordinator, you've got serious problems.
Yeah, the Jets spread them out into that 3 wide. They brought in the nickel, and they couldn't match up on the inside. It'll be 2nd down and 14 now, as the Saints are on the move. Werfel dumps it outside. It's a dangerous one. Brought down immediately by Jason Belzer is Ray Zellers.
And you could see the headache come in there, and really Werfel, he had no place to go. Very smart. Didn't try to force the ball downfield and just went to the outlet, Zellers.
You got to think, he's a young quarterback, too, making just his 4th NFL start.
Yeah, he is. But, you know, at least he had the chance to go through the program last year and get the experience. And then he did some stuff in the offseason that really helped his throwing motion, but he's at least seen it before. And this is a huge third down now for the Colts to get off the field.
Third down and long. Werfel out of the shotgun. Looking downfield. He has time, and now he gets sacked, the first sack of the year for the Colts. Tony McCoy and Jeff Harrod combine on the sack.
And you're going to have to give that credit to the Colts secondary. Because not only are these guys having to make tackles when the run breaks down up front, but they also are stopping the pass. As you can see, Mike Ditka not all that enthused about the way that play went.
So they'll bring out Doug Bryan.
Boy, this is going to be a long one.
Yeah, well, Bryan hit a 56-yarder, a career long last week. This one will be from 55. And it's the old pooch punt.
You figured that was coming. Looks like he might get a pretty good roll.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Kicked out of bounds or into the end zone by the rookie, Cam Cleland. If there ever was a rookie play, that was it. And the Colts have a 3-0 lead. They'll have the football when we return. In the first quarter, rookie quarterback Peyton Manning with a couple of tight ends, and Marshall Faulk sat behind it.
Once again, the checkoff by Manning.
They'll run a trap play. This is Marshall Faulk trying to get up the middle as the flags come out. We'll find out what happens with this flag. I believe it was Mark Fields, the guy who came up and made the stop. And it'll be holding on the Colts. Another drive killer.
Holding. Offense, number 58. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
All right, now let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Rams' third starting running back of the season, rookie Robert Holcomb, had 31 yards on this drive. That a 5-yard TD run. Good second effort, and the Rams on top of the Cards. 7-0 in the first. Back to Ray and Ron.
Thank you, JB.
Vermeil may be working him to death, but I tell you, that team is playing a little better.
An exciting football team is the St. Louis Rams. Peyton Manning on play action. He'll throw the screen. This is Marcus Pollard, and Pollard is met and stopped by Keith Mitchell, one of the Mitchell guys. Stops him for a gain of 1.
And you know what that was right there? That was just team speed. And you look at the Saints on defense, and in every position, they got guys that can run to the football. And when they get there, they show up with a bad attitude. Not unlike Mike Ditka's 85 Bear team, when you look at it real closely. They're tenacious, and it's all about what that guy there has done for him. That's David Uralian, the defensive coordinator. He wants them to fly around, be tenacious, but he likes guys that can run and get to where the ball is.
Peyton Manning will go out of the shotgun on 2nd and long. He'll throw it out to Marvin Harrison. Harrison with room on the outside up to the 24-yard line before he is slammed out of bounds by Alex Molden.
And that is what Alex Molden has brought.
That was a suplex.
Now, he's a first-round pick from '96, and when he came on board, he was a guy that they said, well, he can cover, but we like what he can do when he comes up and makes hits. Now, this is called being kind of upset about having a ball caught on him.
That's a WWF move right there. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 for Peyton Manning. 4 wide receivers in the game. He's in the shotgun. This will be Torrance Small in motion. Manning running the quarterback draw. He's got room upfield. He'll slide his way to a first down just past the 30-yard line. And that'll be the end of our first quarter with the Indianapolis Colts taking a 3-0 lead. Welcome back to Indianapolis. I'm Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts, and the Colts are showing us something here today.
Yeah, but you see the way Peyton Manning got out of the pocket there when things broke down.
Yes,
he didn't try to force something. I like that. And you know what? You're really not that much taller than me. It's the trick with the platform.
That's right. The platform shoes get me every time. 1st and 10, and then we have movement. And the flags are out. And they'll sort this out. It looked to me like the Colts left early.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So another penalty problem for the Colts. They overcame the last one on a Peyton Manning scramble to get the first down. It'll make it 1st and 15. Marshall Faulk. Haven't heard much from him today, but you will. 3rd in the NFL in yards from scrimmage after the first 3 weeks of the season. And Faulk will get it. And he'll get stopped running up the middle. Kevin Mitchell coming up from his linebacker spot to make the play.
Yeah, going back to that last run by Manning, he got out of the pocket. That was an example of what we talked about in the open of some things that he wants to start doing this game. You know, he wants to look off the safeties and not stare a hole of where he's throwing. He wants to speed up his decision time, not hesitate, because that leads to bad throws. A throwaway is okay, along with a dump off to the back out of the backfield. And I think you have to categorize just running with the football when you don't see what you want, kind of along with throwaway or a dump off.
The blitz comes on Manning. He'll dump it off to Marshall Faulk. Faulk tries the cutback move, not able to get anything out of it.
It wasn't.
Tyrone Drakeford and Rob Kelly come up to stop him.
Excuse me, Ray. It may not have been effective, but there's an example of what we're talking about. He looked downfield, didn't see what he wanted, so dumped the ball off. And it took me a while to realize that. You know, coming from college, you're taught to force everything down the field and make a play. So there's nothing wrong to throwing that ball out to the back who's maybe a yard deep and letting him do the work.
And he also said that the guys were a lot more open when he was in college at Tennessee. They're not as open here.
Right. But I like the way they have let him go down the field early in this game.
3rd down and 13 for the Colts. Out of the shotgun is Manning. The blitz comes, and he'll throw behind the blitz. This is Marvin Harrison. Harrison's got some room up to first down yardage before he is just hogtied by Rob Kelly, a pickup of 14.
You made this point earlier, Ray. Throwing behind the blitz. Now you're going to see it come off the inside. So that means that somebody has voided an area, and that's right where they go to. And Harrison has really been the go-to guy for Peyton. And that is what you call a rookie quarterback. He recognizes it right now and lets it go. And now he lets his receiver get the yards after the catch.
Marvin Harrison coming in as the leading receiver for the Colts. That was his 16th grab of the year. It'll be a first down for Manning.
Ooh, reverse.
And this is Peyton, and Peyton is going nowhere. He is knocked down by Leroy Glover with great penetration.
Leroy Glover has had new life since he's come to this team from the Raiders. And playing next to Wayne Martin, you can understand it. Now, he's going to be inside over the center. Because he's in the backfield, he can almost take the handoff. He really tears up the whole play. Mandridge is back there to try to get a seal block, but you're not going to get anything. Right now, Leroy Glover is playing at a Pro Bowl level, without a doubt. He may not get the credit for it, but pretty soon you're going to have to give him the credit for it because the guy is standing out on film.
Glover leads the Saints with 4 sacks, a big tackle for a loss of 9. It'll be 2nd and 19 for Manning. Hit as he throws. He gets Peyton on the outside. Tyrone Drakeford there, and he makes the stop.
There's another example of speeding up the decision time. I think 2 weeks ago, last week, Manning might have held the ball just a second longer to look down the field and not throw that ball. Now, that's Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator. And he says, my biggest worry is protecting my young quarterback. So that's why you see so many 2 tight ends. But when we don't protect him or we don't give him the formations that lead to protection, then he's got to beat the blitzes and the pressure.
It'll be 3rd down and 13 for Peyton Manning out of the shotgun again. Over the middle. He connects. And this is E.G. Green, another one of the rookie receivers for the Colts. And it's another first down.
E.G. Green has had that injured elbow, a dislocated elbow. He's back in the lineup. You see on his right arm, he's pretty well. It's amazing he could even catch the ball with all that.
That's some contraption on his arm.
And he almost needs some oil to get loosened up for it. But look at this shot here. I mean, nobody ever said that Peyton Manning couldn't stand and deliver under pressure. That's why he's there. And he threw a strike.
Colts are on the move. They're on the 44-yard line of the Saints. 1st and 10, and this will be Marshall Faulk. And he'll find no room up the middle, and they haven't been able to get the running game going yet, have the Colts.
Yeah, I think the whole game plan from Tom Moore has to switch over, and he's got to realize that by now. Yeah, you would like to set up the run to help Manning out, but that's not happening. And it's not happening because the Saints defensive front is just too strong. The front seven is just too strong, and they're too fast. So I don't think he's afraid to go ahead and give the game to Manning, spread the defense out, and let him make things happen. I mean, that's what you paid the guy for. That's what he's here for. Let him be what he is supposed to be and can be.
He's been 5 for 5 on this drive. And he'll go outside to Peyton. Peyton can't get it. Tyrone Drakeford on the coverage. Right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
You knew Green Bay would bounce back. Take a look at Brett Favre. He drills this one. Mark Tremere, good hands. We were wondering if, in fact, that pass was intended for the flanker, Derek Mays. Hey, it's a touchdown nonetheless. PAT, no good. Green Bay trailing by 4. Back to Ray and Ron.
Hey, JB, it looks like Chewy got faster.
He did.
What do you think, Ray?
That was a fast ball and a fast tight end.
Fast ball and a fast run.
They're down in 9. The Colts just -7 yards rushing thus far, but they're moving the ball on the arm of Peyton Manning. And he goes to Harrison, but it's a little overthrown. Incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
A little high that time. Fields actually, yeah, it looked like Fields coming off the corner on the blitz. And that's what that blitz is for. You may not get to the quarterback, but you want to speed up everything. That decision-making time we talked about that Manning was so concerned with.
Get him out of a rhythm, and Manning had been in a rhythm. This is Chris Gardocki booming it towards the end zone. Andre Hastings with the fair catch. He'll let it go now. And this is going to end up to be great field position for the Colts defense when they come back out. Indianapolis with a 3-0 lead. Saints ball when we return.
Off the field in crucial 3rd down situations, and a couple penalties have hurt the Saints at the wrong time.
Zellers and Smith are behind Werfel, and Werfel will throw from his end zone, and he's going for all of it. And he overthrows his receiver, and this is going to be intercepted by Tyrone Poole at the 44-yard line of the New Orleans Saints.
I don't know that Dawkins makes a good enough effort to try to keep the defensive back from intercepting this ball. He does trip there. Good catch, though, by Poole.
New Orleans Saints, both Danny Werfel interceptions, and this puts the Colts in excellent field position. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of New Orleans, and they'll run the toss. This is Marshall Falk trying to get some room, but he doesn't find it. Kevin Mitchell comes up from the linebacker spot for the stop. Right, let's look back at that interception again and tell me what you think about this play.
Well, Werfel lets this one fly, but Dawkins has got to do a better job of trying to break this play up. Now, he does trip, and that's a great catch by Poole, but he has to know if he's behind the defender, he's got to become the defender and break up the ball, avoid the interception. But Tyrone Poole, when it's all said and done, I mean, he just makes a good catch over the shoulder like a receiver.
Manning can throw. He hits Harrison on 2nd down, and this will be a 1st down. The slant to the right side. Chad Cota with the tackle, but that's the bread and butter for these Colts.
The Saints linebackers have shown a tendency to creep up. So when you're playing zone, they should be in that hole back there. You see Fields was kind of up by the line of scrimmage. Watch them. They're kind of biting up there, looking around for that run. They need to be back there deeper in a zone situation.
A 17-yard pickup for Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. 1st and 10, the blitz is on. There's no room. Troy Wilson, who is filling in for Joe Johnson, makes a stop on Marshall Falk after a pickup of 3. Passing yards, a disparity in this ball game.
And it started right off the bat. And it's funny, I asked Jim Moore the other day, where do you guys have an edge in this game? And he sunk his head and he was quiet for a while. And he said, I don't know if we have one. Well, I think you have one in the guy you drafted, and it's just about letting him get the confidence and putting the ball down the field like they've done early in this game.
Manning will hand it to Falk. Penetration from Mark Fields, and he is stopped for a loss on the play.
And that's why I think they don't have an edge. I don't think that they can match up across the board, offensive line and defensive line, with that man's defensive unit, Xavier Uralian. And it's all about penetration. Once again, Glover is in the backfield before anyone else can make the play. But Fields is a guy who initially gets in and tears everything
Mark
up.
Fields came on the blitz, and they will blitz and blitz, and Xavier Uralian will blitz you again. He loves to send those active linebackers in after people. Third down now and 7 for the Colts. Peyton in motion. Manning to throw. Dumps it outside to Marshall Faulk. Faulk with first down yardage and more. He'll get inside the 5-yard line before he is pushed out of bounds. A nice play, a nice dump from Peyton Manning to Marshall Faulk.
Manning saw the blitz coming, so right now he knew that he had to think about doing a couple things. If he didn't see what he wanted right away, the dump. And that's one of the things we showed in his list of things he wanted to do better. And that's not a bad guy to dump it to. The dump is really an extended handoff. They're having so much trouble running inside. Why not dump it more?
They called him out of bounds at the 9-yard line. That's where the Colts will go 1st and 10. This will be Marshall Faulk with a seam in the middle. He runs into the safety, Rob Kelly, and powers his way, actually Chad Cota and Kelly, powers his way down to the 3-yard line.
And now that's a hit there. Cota and Faulk. Now Faulk is not a huge guy, 5'10", 211, but he brings the wood on this play. Now this is what the safety's got to look at when the run busts through the line. Here's what you got to do. You just got to lower your shoulder pads, get your pad level down, bite your mouthpiece, and just make a play.
And hang on for dear life. 2nd and goal from the 4. It'll be Faulk again to the right side. Little happening over there as Wayne Martin and Kevin Mitchell combined for the stop.
The Colts O-line has to try to finesse this team a little bit. They're so quick. They got to try to push here, push there. And that man right there, just in front of Xavier Uralian, Ricky Jackson, the former All-Pro Saint linebacker.
123 career sacks for Ricky Jackson. That's a lot of sacks on your sideline over there.
I would say he's in the backfield a few times.
3rd down and goal for Peyton Manning. The Colts looking to extend their lead. And he'll throw the fade out to the right side. He almost gets it to Marvin Harrison. Alex Molden with the coverage. Actually, he didn't throw the fade. He kind of zipped it outside.
Yeah, they were trying to throw what looked like the fade stop or the quick out. And the crowd, they're upset. They want to go for the full 7 or full 6. But Moore, hey, he's happy with what he's seen so far, and he's not going to do anything crazy. He wants to get the points because points have been hard to come by this team the last couple weeks.
If Vanderjet makes this field goal, they'll have 6 points in this game. That'll match their total output in the first half in the first 3 games. And this is good from 19 yards out. And the Indianapolis Colts go up 6-0 over the New Orleans Saints. Peyton Manning leads the Indianapolis Colts on their 2nd scoring drive of the day. They take a 6-0 lead over the Saints. The 9-play, 42-yard drive capped off by a Mike Vanderjagt 19-yard field goal. Vanderjagt perfect on the year right now. Ishmael keeps his feet. He's got some speed now. He'll bring it out to the 38-yard line before Bertrand Berry forces him out of bounds. The Saints will have good field position when we return. We got a battle here on 1st and 10.
I'm excited about hearing about that 70 show.
Yeah, that thing's coming up. You're a 70 guy.
That's right.
Tony Johnson in motion for the Saints. They'll run it again. Ray Zellers up the middle for nothing. Bernard Whittington on the tackle. There's a large disparity in total yards in this ball game.
Yeah, there is. And one team can't run it. Another team can pass it. And if you're Danny Werfel, without a doubt, his job is not to lose this game for the Saints and let the defense swarm around and make plays.
Pick up of 1 on 1st down, 2nd down and 9 now. And Werfel will toss it out. This is Lamar Smith. Smith picking up 6 yards before Robert Blackman from the safety position brings him down.
And that's another thing the Saints are going to do is run the football more than they have. I think they got away from it a little bit, but as this game goes on, especially, even though it's only 6-0, they're going to have to get into one mode and find something that's working and now believe that. Because I don't think this is the type of game they expected from the Colts. And if you looked at them on film, you couldn't say that. However, you knew they probably had a breakout coming.
You knew they were going to get after it this week. Getting after it is Lamar Smith out to the left side up to midfield. He'll pick up 1st down yardage before Steve Morrison and Michael Barber bring him down. Bernard Whittington slow to get up as you look at Willie Rowe working on Whittington today.
Yeah, and looked like he worked on him pretty good. Anytime your chin strap is up by your nose, you definitely got problems. I doubt seriously if he knows what state he's in right now.
Bernard Whittington, 5-year man out of Indiana University, filling in for the injured Al Fontenot. This will be Zellers off to the left side. Zellers will pick up 3 before he's knocked out of bounds by Jason Belser. Coming up next, it's a battle of 2 undefeated teams as Jamal Anderson and the surprising Atlanta Falcons take on Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and all of those 49ers. It's a key NFC West matchup. Both teams coming in 2-0. Plus, other regional action will be coming up next on Fox.
And the good thing about that for these 2 teams, or at least for the Saints, is that a win here is good because Atlanta, San Francisco, someone's going home a loser.
Both teams have been red hot, winning 8 out of their last 10. It'll be second down now, and they'll run the draw. Smith, no room on the left side. Steve Morrison down around his ankles along with Andre Royal.
Colts defense inside. Now, the lead back, you see like a lead back block there by Zellers, but Morrison comes in from the backside and really makes a nice play. And this is what this defense has to do. They probably don't have the speed to chase things down once it gets beyond the line of scrimmage. But they can get in it from the back door like they did on that play.
And they attack with Michael Barber on a blitz. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 for Danny Werfel. Werfel underneath, misses Zellers, incomplete, 4th down.
And he had him, and he just missed it.
Monty Montgomery was there, but he really didn't have to do anything as Werfel missed his target.
Daniel Bromwitz, the offensive coordinator for the Saints, in the beginning of the season, or at least when Werfel took over 2 weeks ago, he said, listen, you don't have to win this game all by yourself, but you damn sure don't want to lose it.
That's exactly what he said.
It's kind of hard to play football with that on your mind,
yeah,
but
that's a tough one.
Just the thought.
Mark Royals will kick it away to Tyrone Poole. High spiraling kick headed to the end zone, and it will be a touchback. So the Colts will take over on their own 20-yard line with a 6-0 lead when we return.
I know you've worn a couple of those and made it into an elbow brace.
That's a custom job if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and so that keeps him from getting the extension from side to side, and it keeps it stable. But you got to have plenty of grease around so he doesn't stiffen up.
Green with a big reception in an earlier Colts drive. Peyton Manning on 1st and 10 will hand it outside to Marshall Faulk. Faulk up past the 20, a pickup of 1. Mark Fields on the stop, and it is our 2-minute warning with the Colts with the football and a 6-0 lead. Stats all coming up on the Visa halftime report. 2nd and 8 for the Colts. A slant. This is going to be picked off by Rob Kelly. He's got Green in front of him. Peyton Manning has to make the tackle, and he does at the 6-yard line. No turnovers until that, and that is a killer.
Yeah, I wondered what the Colts were doing running that ball on the first play before the 2-minute warning. It almost looked like they weren't quite sure what they wanted to do. And this is just an unfortunate thing for the Colts and a very fortunate thing for the Saints. This ball popped straight up in the air. They're working on Drakeford. They thought I could get him on the slant. He makes a good play on the ball, and great ball awareness by Rob Kelly, who's coming in and taking the place of Sammy Knight.
Not a bad tackle from a quarterback there.
But Peyton knows that he's got to stop the touchdown. Now you at least give your defense a chance to keep him off the board before halftime.
1st and goal from the 7 for the Saints. They'll run it up the gut. And they'll get nowhere with Lamar Smith as Bertrand Berry with the penetration stops it for no gain.
This could be, excuse me, Ray, this could be the most important series of downs for both teams in this game, because the Saints have struggled as far as getting points on the board and have struggled in a lot of ways the whole first half. The Colts have played a lot better than I'm sure anyone thought they would play. If the Colts can keep them to 3 here, that'll be a huge momentum booster and that much more for the Saints to have to fight coming out in the second half.
2nd and goal from the 8. They'll pitch it outside to Smith. Smith cuts inside. He'll get it up to the 5-yard line before Ellis Johnson and Jeff Herrod combine on the stop. Peyton Manning, his 9th interception of this young season, and 3 of those have been tipped balls. You can't really blame the quarterback for that one.
And the Saints here, they're working, letting a little bit of time run off. Not sure what they're waiting on. They've got timeouts left, but they use a little bit more time in that huddle than you would have liked to have seen. And finally, Werfel has to burn it. I wonder what was going on there. They didn't have the right personnel in the game.
Peyton Manning turnovers have been costly for the Colts. In week 1 against the Dolphins right here in Indianapolis, Terrell Buckley got him for a 21-yard touchdown return.
Yeah, and it was also the same kind of slant route. Actually, that one was up the field, and he just let that one fly. Didn't quite look at decision-making time. We talked about that.
Week 2, he lays one up, and Ty Law, he fought the Law.
And
Law won.
Interestingly enough, like 5 of them have been to, coming into this game, 5 of them have all been to the left corner. And the book out now is that Peyton has a tendency to look where he's throwing. And I think he's done a little bit better job of that. But, you know, when things get tight, rookie quarterback, he might go back to that. And that's expected. That's a natural. But I think that Tyrone Drakeford was looking for that slant all the way.
It'll be a big down now, 3rd and goal from the 5. And they'll try to run it inside. And the Colts defense rises up. They get 6 men on the stop, and they're excited about it. They're going to force a field goal attempt for Mike Ditka's Saints.
Well, it's never automatic with Ditka. They haven't sent him out there yet. And all I know is that this is a Colts team that is now fired up. And there they go. There goes the extra point team, or excuse me, the field goal team.
Big stop for the Colts emotionally. Let's go back to that interception, and you tell me if Peyton Manning looked off that safety like he's been trying to do, or if he just looks it in.
He looks the whole way. And so if I'm Tyrone Drakeford sitting in a zone defense and I'm looking at the quarterback, then I know something's coming. 3-step drop, bam, slant. That's what he's supposed to do, but a look-off is good.
Doug Ryan from 22 yards, perfect on the year, stays perfect. He's now 4 for 4. And the New Orleans Saints get on the board. It is a 6-3 ball game. Big year in baseball. Baseball made its comeback, Ron, and one of those things is Mike Ditka took his turn at the year-long tribute to the late Harry Carey with his unique interpretation of take me out to the ball game. And the playoffs begin on Tuesday, and there's a lot of excitement around baseball.
But Ditka took his cuts, and let's listen. Do not sing like this.
1 and a 2 and a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Money company does a good job. I don't care if I ever get that. I will throw up for the whole city. They don't really care. 1, 2, 3 touchdowns out of the old ball game.
Boy, if that don't get you ready to play a little baseball, I don't know what does. And they're going to be ready Tuesday. The Texas Rangers taking on the New York Yankees. The Yankees, what a year that they've had. More wins in the American League than any team has ever had. And they throw David Wells, he who pitched a perfect game this year, up against Texas.
You know, and how about Juan Gonzalez for the Rangers?
Looking for room outside. Nothing there. He'll take it up to the 23-yard line before he is brought down. 18-yard return.
A great effort. First, I think you sit on it, without a doubt. You don't even try to move the ball downfield. Just because of the snake bite that you had last series. And that's unfortunate for the Colts because, you know, things are working good, and they've got a young quarterback working good, and they're making some things happen. And one play kind of changes the whole complexion of the game going into halftime for them.
They come out in a 3 wide receiver set. Torrance small in the slot, Harrison on top. They'll run it to Fault. And Marshall Fault brought down by Joe Johnson after a pickup of 4 yards, and they're going to let it wind out. And that'll bring us to the end of our first half with the score. The Colts 6, the Saints 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue. James Brown, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and Chris Collinsworth will be along for the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local. Manning will be as good of a quarterback as his dad was, and that's from Matthew Weaver.
Well, you know, I know Archie and our family, and they know each other and all that. So, Archie, you're going to hate me for this, but I think your son's going to be better than you are, and I'll tell you why. I think technically he's going to be better. I think he's got better tools. I think he's a better thrower. I think he's got that strong arm, and you said that yourself. And he's got that ability to put the ball on the money and all that kind of good stuff. Not that you couldn't do that, but I think he does that. And, you know, also, too, they're playing in two different eras. And when Archie played, the rules as far as what you could do to the quarterback were different. Where the offensive linemen could line up are different. You know, the game now is designed to let the quarterback throw the ball down the field. And I think when Archie was playing, it wasn't really like that. And you could really rough up a quarterback and get away with it. But that's taking nothing away from Archie because he was a great quarterback. I just think that Peyton is that much better.
Well, only time will bear that out. But
yeah, right. You'll never know, but we'll see.
Peyton Manning has done well in the first half. He's got his team ahead 6-3. We're set to kick off the second half. Tripped up on a great special teams play. It was Earl Little coming down with the play, but let's take a look at these halftime stats, Ronnie. And boy, there's some things that just jump right out at you.
Yeah, like first of all, the passing yardage. And while one team can run the ball, and that's the Saints, well, they're having a hard time passing it. They're taking the game out of Werfel's hands, and I'm not saying they ever put it in his hands, but it's clear that they're going to try to win it running the football. And the turnovers have been hurting both teams, but the points off the turnovers are also what's keeping both teams in this game.
From the 17, Manning will hand it to Marshall Faulk, who has a bit of a hole, perhaps the biggest hole of the day. He'll take it up to the 23-yard line before Kevin Mitchell makes the stop. Marshall Faulk having trouble getting the rushing game going for the Indianapolis Colts. Tallied just 16 yards in the first half. It'll be second down now.
And one reason for it is he's seeing an 8-man front, and you just saw Peyton point to that 8th man coming up to stop the run.
And it's another good job of penetrating from Leroy Glover to knock this play down early. And then it's Keith Mitchell coming up along with Brady Smith for the stop.
And see, that's something that the Saints are going to take a gamble on with a young quarterback. They're going to guess that you're not going to be able to beat us throwing, and that you'll have to run to protect him, so we're going to cheat and get our men up there for the run. Watch how many people he's got to avoid before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage. There's only one guy in the NFL I know that can get away with that, and that's Barry Sanders.
Marshall Faulk would be the second guy,
he would
I think,
be the
who could
second
get away
guy
with that. It'll bring up. Should have been picked off, but Rob Kelly couldn't hang on to it, and it'll be incomplete, and the Colts will have to punt in their second half possession.
And it all started when they shut down their run game. And you do it by the 8-man front, and you're going to see more and more of that from the Saints, especially on early downs.
Chris Gardocki set to hit this one deep to Andre Hastings. Gardocki, a high spiraling kick, driving Hastings back to the 23, where he has a little bit of room. Makes one man miss, and now he's outside. He's across midfield, and Gardocki has to make the touchdown saving tackle at the 43. And Bobby April's got to be happy about those Saints special teams, trying to get them back into this game. They'll have the football in Colts territory when we return. Where the Saints, after a 34-yard punt return from Andre Hastings, will start in Colts territory. Danny Werfel will put Aaron Craver in motion. He'll hand it to Ray Zellers. Zellers tripped in the backfield and fights his way back to the line of scrimmage, where he is brought down by Bernard Whittington. Called it a loss of 1 on the play.
And Whittington is a guy that they expect a lot out of today. He's lined up over Willie Rowe, and so you know he's going to have to be on his game. And Greg Bloch, the Colts defensive line coach, says, I expect him to give Willie a battle. This guy has a great motor, and we need him to have a great motor every play.
Second down and 11. Werfel to throw. He's got the slant. And this is Shawn Dawkins with his first catch of the ball game. He'll pick up close to first down yardage. Shawn Dawkins played with these Colts. 50 catches in over the last 4 years each year.
Dawkins very outspoken toward the Colts organization. He said, in my mind, they could have paid me to stay here. They didn't want to do it. They lied and then brought in Jeff Burris.
Paid him the money?
Yeah. He said the organization never really committed to winning. Some very strong words from him.
3rd and 1. It'll be Ray Zellers picking up close to first down yardage.
Raising a headlock there. What do you call that move?
I don't know. It looked like the scissors. And they're going to say he is short of the first down yardage. They'll call it 4th and inches.
Whittington working on rope here. See, Whittington wins that one. Boy, he stands him right up. Looked like Willie got a little high, and the traffic from the backside caught him.
Great leverage from Whittington.
Great leverage. He got underneath his pads.
4th down and less than a yard. And it looks like the Saints are going to be close. It was Ray Zellers off the left side.
That all depends on the mark.
Lamar Smith off the left side. Zellers blocking.
That's funny. From this angle we're at, Ray, up here in the booth, it looked like
he had it.
He had it, but now all the Colts are standing right there. They're saying he doesn't. Saying that he doesn't have it.
Wishful thinking, perhaps?
I don't know. You know, when it's that close, it all depends on how the official marks the ball.
The upfield foot or the downfield.
Oh, he didn't get it.
Short of the first down, the Colts defense holds.
Now that's 2 huge plays by the Colts defense.
And they'll take over with the football and the momentum with a 6-3 lead when we return.
Time that led to only the 3 points.
Peyton Manning to throw on first. He's going deep for Marvin Harrison, and he overthrows everybody. Good coverage by Alex Molden. These Saints, they may have something more on their minds than a football game today.
Well, Ray, if I'm a Saints player, there's no way that I cannot think about what's going on back home with Hurricane George. You know, and coming out talking to some of the players and coaches, you know, the thing has been call home, make sure everybody's okay, but when you come here to play, try to focus on the game. But there's no way you can do that, and because that's a serious deal that's going on, and we of course hope here at Fox that everybody is okay through that thing.
2nd and 10. Manning on play action, dumps the screen over the middle of Falk. He goes nowhere as Mark Fields smelled that one out. Let's go down to Jim Gallagher for a report on how the Saints are going to handle Hurricane Georges.
Well, right now what they're going to do with the hurricane is they can't get back into New Orleans because the airport has been closed. So the Saints are going to stay overnight here in Indianapolis, practice in the RCA Dome tomorrow, and then make a decision Monday night on the weather if they can indeed get back to New Orleans, hopefully Monday night or Tuesday morning.
Thank you, Jim. So there is a lot on their minds. That's tough to deal with. 3rd down and 10. They called that last pass to Marshall Falk incomplete. Manning out of the shotgun. Looking on the weak side for Marvin Harrison. Harrison has it for first down yardage, working on Alex Molden.
Yeah, they tried to take Molden deep, and they get him thinking deep and then come back down underneath. And Harrison is really Peyton's guy. And we asked Peyton the other day, you have a go-to guy? He said, I don't know. I kind of like Harrison. I think you like him a lot.
Wow.
And that's one of the things they talked about in the pregame show, that comeback route right there, that little stop route, a very easy, safe throw for the quarterback if the receiver comes back to the ball like he should.
It's a first down for Harrison. 1st and 10 for the Colts. Pollard in motion. And they'll toss it out to Marshall Falk. Falk with nowhere to go. The ball comes out. Mark Fields comes up with it, but it'll be Colts possession. Right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, why is Brett Favre so good? Take a look at this fly pattern run by Tyrone Davis. Boy, talk about in sync. 31st regular season game with 3 or more TDs for Brett Favre, all tied in Carolina. 20 apiece. Back to Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts.
JB, I think he's good because when he hits the field, he lets it all hang out and he uses his ability. And he doesn't have a bunch of junk in his head.
He's got it all, attitude and ability. And some talent.
And I think that's another thing that this guy here, Peyton Manning, has learned to do, not have the junk in his head and just play football.
Goes to the slant, and it's a replay of the first half. Chad Cota picks this one off. He tried to hit Harrison on the slant. It pops up. The safety Cota comes up with it. It's an interception. The Saints have the football.
And there's nothing he can do about that. I mean, that is just a matter of a good play by the secondary. And the ball pops up. It's anybody's ball. And offensive coordinators hate to see the ball pop up in the air because it usually means that the other team's going to get it. He can think more about his tight end. You see the way the tight end's wide open, but once again, that's just a good play.
A fortuitous bounce for the Colts, and Manning, a little frustration. Is he going to slap Mark Fields in the head?
He brought back the head slap.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the New Orleans Saints from their 46. Wuerffel with pressure on him. He's not going to get rid of this one. Second sack of the day. This one coming from Tony McCoy.
I'm surprised that they're trying to even do anything throwing the ball right now. To me, they've resigned to the fact that they're going to take the game out of Wuerffel's hands and keep running the ball. They did that last series, and this to me is nothing more than trying to keep the Colts off balance. But this is what that does for you, a sack.
Actually, Ellis Johnson was the man that got there first, but Wuerffel didn't throw that thing into any trouble.
No. Yeah, everybody, all the Saints fans are mad right now, but he didn't throw an interception. Sometimes you got to eat it.
2nd and 14.
Back on the ground.
Lamar Smith with plenty of room. Past the 40, 30. Forced out of bounds by Robert Blackman. But boy, they got it all back on the toss to Lamar Smith.
And that's why I say, Ray, why mess around trying to throw the ball right now when you got this kind of stuff going? Watch the left side of the line. They're going to pull the guard. McCullum, nice block. 2 nice blocks. Fontenot, the center, he comes all the way out and gets a block. And this is what the Saints have been doing. This is one reason they come into this game 2-0 and running the football, 5th in the NFC, averaging 121 yards per game, toting it on the ground.
A 33-yard pickup for Lamar Smith. New Orleans chewing it up on the ground. And they'll give it to Smith again, and he gets penetration from McCoy and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage before Whittington makes the tackle.
They say teams are like their coaches, and this team is like that guy right there. And the last time he won a Super Bowl as a coach, his team could run the ball very well. And they had a guy named Sweetness that wasn't all that bad at running the football. And they knew how to blow people off the line up front. And that's what they're getting back to in this organization.
With a gain of 1, Lamar Smith hits the century mark, 13 carries, 100 yards on the ground. And he'll run it to the right. He's got room again. He's got Zellers out front blocking. Smith down to the 5-yard line before Blackman forces him out of the bounds again.
They go to the right side this time. And they're working the tackle. Kyle Turley, 68. But watch the block by 85, the rookie, Cleveland. Now, he gets pushed out a little bit, but in the end, he faces his man. He gets him on the ground, and he gets his butt in the hole, and there's the hole. Now, in all seriousness and all fairness to Lamar Smith, folks, everyone watching this game could run through that hole. And as bad a shape as we're in right now, Ray, we could run through that hole.
We could run through that hole. They take Barry out of the game. They replace him with Van Tuene. They try to get the snap off, and there's flags flying all over the place. And they're going to call a false start on the Indianapolis Colts.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65 off.
Excuse me, the New Orleans Saints.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Once again, the penalties hurting at the wrong time. Chris Nioli, #1 draft pick from last year, he moves.
And he's almost like a rookie. Didn't play at all last year with the knee injuries and the ankle problems.
And that's a rookie mistake, too.
He's done a nice job thus far this season. So it brings up 1st and goal. Now pitch it to Smith, and Smith gets rattled by Michael Barber coming up from the linebacker spot, and somebody lost a shoe.
You got to give some credit to the guys inside for the Colts, though. They haven't played well coming into this game. You look at 62 there, Ellis Johnson.
Shoeless Ellis Johnson.
Shoeless Ellis Johnson. And, you know, the rules are you can't spat your shoes like we used to, Ray. So You kind of got to hope that you tie it up tight enough and it holds. Didn't hold for him, and he's out of the game, and that could hurt him. They need him in the game now.
2nd and 10 for Werfel. They'll run the draw. This is Smith. He'll pick up 5 yards as Blackman makes the stop.
And they ran that ball right where Ellis Johnson wasn't. He had just come out of the game because of a shoe. And what do they call? A right over the guard play and get some pretty good yardage on it.
Barry Chester had checked in for Ellis Johnson. Chester, a rookie who made 8 stops against the Jets last week, earned himself some play time. This is a big down now, 3rd and 5 as the Saints trying to march into the end zone. They'll spread it out with 3 wide receivers. Hastings in motion. And this time they throw the fade looking for Dawkins, and it's batted away by Burris.
If there's one thing that this Colts defense does have, it's 2 good corners. Jeff Burris came over as a free agent from Buffalo. Bump and run on a taller Shawn Dawkins. He doesn't try to fight with him. He just says, I'm going to play the ball. He's there a little early, but you know what? Not early enough. I think that's a good play. It's close. The ref's right there. He does make contact before that ball is there, but it's a good play.
Doug Bryant on to attempt his 2nd field goal of the day, and we have movement up front.
Oh, that could be huge.
I think the Colts started early, and then Willie Roaf moved. We'll see who they call it on.
And it really won't matter because they can't get a 1st down.
There was a neutral zone infraction. Defensive team who jumped in the neutral zone and caused the offense to false start. That's half the distance to the goal, still 4th down.
That's the new rule this year.
The flinch rule.
The flinch rule. Last year, a defender could jump up and pretend like he was coming offside, like Bruce Smith used to do a lot. And they wouldn't, still does, and they wouldn't flag the defense. But now that is a form of encroachment, and they are flagging, penalizing the defense.
So that'll move Doug Bryant in for what amounts to an extra point, but it'll be worth 3. They'll kick it from the 10-yard line, a 20-yard attempt. Snap to hold. The kick is good. And we are now all tied up. Doug Bryant with a 20-yard field goal. Indianapolis 6, New Orleans 6. It's up from his 30, kicking deep to Keith Elias and Rico Clark.
Be interesting to see how Peyton Manning responds now coming back after
the
those
turnover, right?
Those turnovers, even though they weren't his fault per se, he still needs to keep that leadership quality and take the team down the field and call the ball.
Bryant hammers it deep. Elias takes it out of the end zone and gets it out to the 25-yard line before Tony Johnson and Gerard Cherry bring him down. And we're going to take a break with our score tied up 6-6. Peyton Manning and the Colts will have the football. Led by a rookie quarterback, Peyton Manning, take over on their own 26-yard line. Manning 11 of 21 for 157 yards and 2 interceptions this afternoon. And the blitz is on. They'll run right into it. Chad Cota came up in the strong safety spot, caught Marshall Faulk for a loss of 4.
And you know what Cota did? He waited until Manning audible and then ran up and showed the blitz. Manning was right. He ran away from where he thought the 8-man was going to be. But then after he audibled, he ended up running right into it. And those are the kind of little things that he'll learn. See Cota right there sneaking up? As he grows, he'll learn to hold that audible and maybe even change it one more time, give dummy calls, and that'll help him stay out of that kind of situation.
2nd and 15. They'll run the draw, and again, nowhere to go for Marshall Faulk. Brady Smith coming through with the tackle.
And it's all about having 8 defenders in the box. Now, we say the box, that tackle-to-tackle area on defense. Now, watch the safety. They're going to sneak a safety up. He represents the 8th guy. And then you're going 8 on 7 on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and you can't pick it up. There's always one extra guy that you can't seem to get blocked. And another good job by the coordinator, David Urales.
3rd and 19, Manning will be flushed out of the pocket, and he will be sacked. Yeah, baby, it's Austin Robbins. with the defensive play.
This may be the first, and I may be wrong, Ray, bad series that the Colts have had.
And
that
Tony
like
Mandrich
is down
on the field. Left last week's game against the Jets with a concussion.
And by all means, it's a bad series for the Colts because it's a good series for the Saints. There's just so much speed in that front seven. And the front up right there, Tony Mandrich and Jay Lewinberg, and that's about it.
So Chris Gardocki will punt this one away. Andre Hastings waiting around his 40-yard line. Gardocki hangs it up high. Fair catch by Hastings, a late fair catch. He'll take it, and the Saints will have the football at the 41-yard line. We're all tied up in Indianapolis. Danny Werfel trying to lead this offense. He's just 4 of 10 for 19 yards and an interception this afternoon. They've got it done on the ground thus far. Tight end Cleveland in motion, and they'll pitch it outside to Lamar Smith. He looks for the cutback. It's not there. Big Ellis Johnson with the penetration. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader. It's a battle of 2 undefeated teams. Jamal Anderson and the surprising Atlanta Falcons take on Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and the San Francisco 49ers. It's a key NFC West matchup of unbeatens, plus other regional action coming up next on Fox.
I bet you Steve Mariucci doesn't take Jerry Rice out of the game early this week.
You may need him all day. Saints have won 8 of the Falcons have won 8 of their last 10 ball games. Dan Reeves has them turned around. 2nd and 10. And they're going to run the reverse. Andre Hastings, he's got room outside. Cuts back in. He'll get first down yardage up to the 45-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts. You knew that was going to come after all the success they've had with the sweep.
Yeah, and that was the first play they tried in the beginning of the game, and they come back to it. And I want you to watch the block by Danny Werfel, because he causes it all. He allows for the first down by Hastings. Because if he doesn't make that block, I think Hastings is going to be stopped short of the first down. But he gets around the corner, lowers his head right here. Bam. I mean, you're going against, that's your quarterback, 6 foot, going against a 6'6", 280-pound defensive end.
They'll hand off to the fullback, Ray Zellers. Zellers with a few yards, and we have a late flag coming in.
And you know, Ray, that's one thing that Mike Ditka likes about Danny Werfel. He's a tough kid. I mean, what's the one thing he said to us yesterday? You know, we looked at all the film, and we saw him, you know, in that Florida State game. He kept getting waxed and waxed and waxed, and he kept getting up. He didn't talk about his arm. He didn't talk about his pinpoint passing and what he could see down the field and vision. He said he's tough.
He talked about what you might expect Mike Ditka to talk about.
That's
toughness of a man, and that was
personal
echoed.
Foul, track back, number 88 of the offensive team. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Andre Hastings went low on the crackback block. That is illegal. A crackback can come from the outside on a guy on the inside, and you can't go low on him.
You're saying that because I never called crack.
Yeah, you never did you?
Yeah, he can come back, but he can't cut the guy like that. That's illegal. And the reason they're trying that play is because the Jets last week must have ran, what, 6 different motion cut and crackback plays on for big yards.
100 yards on the crack sweep alone. Zellers will go in motion on 1st and 25. They'll pitch it out to Smith. Smith met in the hole by Poole. He breaks that tackle, but he'll be dragged down by Ellis Johnson and Tony McCoy.
You got to like the way Tyrone Poole, a smaller corner, 5'8". That's right, 5'8", 188 pounds, comes up and makes plays. And as we said earlier, if the Colts have one thing on this team right now defensively, they've got 2 very solid corners. I don't know what happened to him in Carolina. And I was just talking to Bill Polian, the Colts general manager. He said he wasn't sure either. The guy can play good football.
Werfel on 2nd and forever throws a screen, batted up in the air by Lamar Smith. Great play from Chester, Larry Chester, the rookie, smelling out the screen pass.
Well, the Colts made some changes this week on their defensive front. Larry Chester is a rookie. He's moved in there, getting a lot more playing time, and he's made some plays. And this is one of them. He's 64, right over the nose, right over the center. He sniffs out the screen. Now watch the play he makes. Good effort by Smith, but that's just a good play of getting to the ball, recognizing and getting to the play.
Chester, a rookie free agent out of Temple. It brings up a third and long. Very long for Danny Werfel. And he'll go downfield. He's looking for Keith Poole. Poole's got it, but they're going to say he's out of bounds. Working on Tim Hout.
Poole very alertly. Second-year receiver out of ASU. Arizona State just gets one. No, I don't even know if he got the one. That was close. Good coverage. Poole. See, that's what happens when you have that good coverage, that hip pocket coverage. The ball has to go on such an arc outside that you take away real estate from the receiver and force an out-of-bounds catch.
Mark Royals will boom this one away, and boom it he does.
He does boom it. He needs a good bounce.
And it's a bad bounce for the Saints. It'll go into the end zone. It's a touchback, a 46-yard bomb from Mark Royals. The Colts will take the ball at the 20-yard.
Ready till it's time to be ready.
Actually, David Wells. That's right. David Wells will be pitching in that opener for the Yankees. 1st and 10. Peyton Manning.
That's a bust.
Bust in the backfield. He'll scramble, and he'll be brought down from behind by Mark Fields. It'll be a loss of a yard. They'll call it a sack.
You know, for the game as close as it is, and for the way the Colts have played the first half, you would think that they'd have more of a sense of urgency right now, and they'd be fired up and not making these kind of mental mistakes in the second half. But I think that's an indication of where they're at as a football team.
It's a young offense.
It's a young offensive line. They've got a youth everywhere, and they're just busting when they shouldn't be busting.
Tony Manders back in the ballgame after being shaken up in the last series. It'll be 2nd and 11. This will be Falk on the draw. He's got a bit of a seam, but it's closed immediately as Chad Cota comes up from the safety spot along with Alex Molden.
As they begin to not threaten the Saints down the field passing as much, now the Saints say, okay, fine, you're not going to threaten us passing. We're going to cheat our guys up for the run. That's what happens. That's why you have to have that balance that all the good teams like the Green Bays and the 49ers have.
We'll go into our 4th quarter now. That is the end of the 3rd with our score. The Indianapolis Colts 6, New Orleans 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. A 4th quarter, a big 3rd down, 3rd and 8 for Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts to go out of the shotgun. He's looking for Falk out of the backfield. He's got him wide open in the middle. Marshall Falk off to the races. He breaks that tackle. He is gone.
He's gone.
30, 20, 10, touchdown Indianapolis. A 78-yard pass from Peyton Manning to Marshall Falk.
The Saints tried to come with a different front look. They tried to use some Bear defense of 46. You see the safety on the right side. There's 3 guys tight in the middle for the run. We talked about Peyton dumping it off. They switch up and they dumped it to Falk across the middle where nobody was. They were expecting run, and now he just outruns everyone to the touchdown.
Rob Kelly had a chance, but nobody covered Marshall Falk out of the backfield. You can't do that. The extra point from Vanderjagt is good. And the Indianapolis Colts jump out to a 13-6 lead, striking early in the 4th quarter. Manning hooking up with Marshall Falk, a 78-yard touchdown pass. Cadre ran through the one tackle, but Michael Barber lit him up at the 23, a return of 22 yards for Ishmael.
Let's go back to this touchdown. The Saints lined up in a 46 defense. Look at the bottom of your screen. That's Joe Johnson, defensive lineman. Watch what he does. He acts like he's going to have the coverage on Falk. Now, I don't know if he had it or not. I can't believe that Xavier Uralian would put him man-to-man on Falk. But then Rob Kelly misses the coverage. Kelly might have had coverage, misses the tackle. Whatever the situation, they gassed him right in the middle when they were expecting running that 46 Bear defense.
Werfel on play action. Complete to Aaron Craver. Pick up of 3 on the play. Ran out of bounds by Andre Royal.
It really just looked like a miscommunication between two guys on that play.
I think what happened is they expect Joe Johnson to get the quick coverage, but the free safety, Kelly, has to guard that. I mean, you know where the weak spot is in this thing, and you got that guy, and you help him out.
And that machine right there, those are the old Polaroids.
Right.
Those will tell the Saints right now who did what and what happened.
Werfel throws a slant. That's behind Dawkins. Jeff Burris on coverage.
That Polaroid machine will make a liar out of you because, and you can see it there. Now, that's an offensive play. You know, you come off the field and you have a bad play, and the coach asks you, well, did you have your man? And you say, yeah, I had him. And then he flips off the Polaroid, and you're nowhere near him. Oops.
He said, no, you didn't. I got it right here.
Like, where is the edit button on that thing?
The old eye in the sky does not lie. As you see Danny Abramowitz, the Saints offensive coordinator, in the middle of your picture. Brings up a 3rd down and 8. Werfel out of the shotgun. He'll go over the middle. Almost picked up, and it's caught by Cleveland. What concentration. He gathers it in for a 1st down. It should have went the other way.
That is an amazing play by Cameron Cleveland. And a huge disappointment. It looked like Belzer came down the middle, and he's going to take this one to the house if he gets it. Actually, that's Blackman. He's going to take this one to the house easy. And those are the type of things they work on in training camp. Just the little concentration drills, watching the ball tip drill. And it moves the chain. Could be the most important play in this drive.
And Cleveland, the number 2 pick out of Washington with a big play. And they'll toss it outside to Smith. Smith with the feet going. He'll get past midfield. Good determination on that run. He's brought down by Belzer, who lost his helmet. Pick up a 15 on 1st down.
I have to go back to that play. I mean, that allows the Saints now to get back into their comfort zone, to put the security blanket back on and get back to this, which is honk, honk, run the football. And this is what these guys do best. And I asked Mike Ditka the other day, I said, well, have you thought about just starting one guy? He says, no. They're both similar. They both run hard. They do what I want them to do, and I'm going to run them both.
1st down and 10 from Colts territory. And they'll pitch it to Smith again. Lamar Smith will pick up 3 off the left side. Tyrone Poole, along with Jeff Harrod, bring him down.
When you want those big yards, you're going to run over Willie Rope. Now, even though he's dropped that weight, and he's streamlined, as we say, and can get out and do some good run blocking.
That's why they brought Lamar Smith over from the Seattle Seahawks.
That's right.
For that kind of production.
He's still 300 pounds, and you're going to put Smith running behind Rope, a 4-time straight Pro Bowler. It's hard not to be productive. Rope pass.
Aaron Craver going to throw the halfback pass. He throws this up for grabs. Looking for Hastings, and I think they got lucky. That one fell to the turf, incomplete.
The Saints coaching staff pulling their hair out on that one.
They tried it week 1. They tried it week 1, and they were successful with it. The Saints against the Rams, and Lamar Smith is the guy who ran this one, and they didn't know it. He's a lefty.
There he goes. He's got that left hand going.
Hastings wide open. That put the Saints up 14-0 in that ball game.
It looked at first like he didn't want to throw it, but you can tell when they belly out that far that the throw's coming. And they're lucky this ball didn't get picked. If he throws it outside, it's going to.
Werfel with pressure. He'll be sacked. The ball's out. And the referee says that it is still Saints ball, but it'll be a punt situation now. Good pressure coming from that Colts defensive front 4.
Watch the front 4. Keep your eyes on 62 inside if you can see him. That's Ellis Johnson, but on the outside, number 96 ends up getting to the quarterback.
Van Tuene along with Larry Chester putting the pressure in.
And this is the problem. This is what the Saints worry about. Whenever a team gets beat up bad the week before, they're always got that chance to rebound against you the next week.
Mark Royals aims for the corner, doesn't quite get it. It'll go into the end zone. And Indianapolis will have the football back at their 20-yard line in a 13-6 lead with 11:27 left in our game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them now.
Boy, what a race that's been all year long. And of course, the playoffs begin Tuesday on Fox. 1st and 10 from the 20. This will be Falk looking for room up the middle. Dodges one man. He's got a little bit of room now, and he's brought down by Rob Kelly. And let's go back to Hollywood and JB for an update. Maybe we'll get a look at that home run.
Ray and Ron, you certainly will. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-1 pitch. Here's Joe Buck.
Now the 1-1. Into left field. Back at the track at the wall. Historic number 69.
I know you guys know baseball. That was off of a hanging breaking ball, but nonetheless, 69 is history. Back to Ray and Ron.
Thanks, Jim. I love them hanging breaking ball.
What I want to know is, can he hang that ball anymore? I mean, he should have just underhanded it.
Marshall Falk takes it out to the right side, and a flag comes out as Falk picks up a couple to the 32. Brought down by Mark Fields. Marshall Falk has a history with the New Orleans Saints. Used to sell popcorn at their games. He was a vendor.
Holding, offense number 79, 10 yards penalty, still 2nd down.
Tony Mandrich, the guilty party.
Yeah, he sold popcorn at the Saints games, and he said all the guys that I cheered for aren't on this team anymore, so I really don't care about them.
Is that right?
And he, the way he acted on that run a few plays ago, it shows. An interesting thing now, Zach Crockett is healthy, but apparently not healthy enough for them to use him. That's why they've stayed with the 2 tight end formation so much. And the last time Marshall Falk ran out of a 2 tight end formation, 1 back set, was at San Diego State.
2nd down. 9 to go, and this is Falk up the middle. He is brought down by Wayne Martin.
And a little bit of frustration starting to show from the Saints, and it should. All week long, the talk has been about the Colts and how they need to get a sense of urgency and all this and all that. Well, right about now, the Saints, if they want any hopes of heading home 3-0, if they can head home at all, they better get a sense of urgency right now.
Time to pick it up. A big 3rd down, 3rd and 5. As Peyton Manning has 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends in the game. He'll put Peyton in motion. And we got an early start from Brady Smith. But he's, of course, claiming that he was drawn offside.
And you can hear the Saints assistant coaches going nuts next door, but it may not be.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 73, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Adam Meadows got a little bit of an early start. Now, there's a name for an offensive lineman. Adam Meadows.
Not the most physical name.
But a good ball player. Second-year man out of Georgia, number 2 draft pick from last season. Started every game last year as a rookie at left tackle. Now he's at the right side. That will bring up a 3rd down and 10 now for the Indianapolis Colts. Manning to throw. He's got Harrison outside for 1st down yardage. Alex Molden gave him a big cushion, big enough for a 12-yard pickup.
Now, let's go back to the opening drive by the Colts. That's the advantage of taking a team up deep early. They went after the corners early and got some big plays. So that makes you have to sit down and be a little tentative later on in the game. Ordinarily, Molden would have squeezed that one down and played in front of the marker. But because he knows that the young quarterback has the ability to beat him deep, he's not so anxious to do that now.
A big 1st down for the Colts. And they'll give it to Marshall Falk. Again, Falk off the left side.
Watch how many guys hit Marshall Falk. I mean, everything that he does and has done today, he's done on his own. You know, he's had to dodge guys from the time he gets the ball to the time he gets up off the pile.
Marshall Falk not having a good day on the ground, but the big play, the 78-yard touchdown reception, is the one that put the Colts in their commanding lead right now. 30 rushes, 30 rushing yardage, 90 in the receiving end, 120 yards on the day. That's a typical Marshall Falk kind of production.
Yeah, it is. And one thing, too, that the Colts are starting to do, using the clock. Watch Peyton Manning at the line. very aware by him of not rushing now, knowing that they've got the game, they're ahead in the game, use all of that play clock.
Manning to throw. Oh, he's got Peyton wide open over the middle. Peyton still alive at the 49-yard line before Tyrone Drakeford brings him down. It's another first down for the Colts, a pickup of 14.
Here's what Peyton has done today. Now, right off the bat, I talked about this, going downtown, putting the fear in the Saints secondary to know that he can beat them. And the dump off, he said, I got to do a better job of dumping the ball up and letting my weapons work for me. I don't have to force it downfield. But he has the one problem of staring a hole where he's going to throw. That slant, that hurt him. And then he's going to stare here. Look at the corner. The corner sees him looking at him, and so he goes and gets the ball. It's unfortunate they got the 2 pop-ups that led to interception.
First and 10, Fault breaks it out for 10 more. A flag comes out late on this. The preliminary signal would be holding on the Colts.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Hey, and Ron, in late terms, I would call this a gathering formation. It's a bunch or a cluster, whatever you want to call it. It's a touchdown. 4th TD toss by Brett Favre today. 2nd to Derek Mays. Packers on top by 7 with 7 left in the 3rd. Back to Ray and Ron.
I would say JB's terminology is quite...
he's working on it, isn't he?
It's quite effective. I think he was right in all 3 cases.
Zach Crockett checks into the backfield for Marshall Faulk on a first down and 20. They'll dump it out to Crockett. Crockett in open field, knocked down by Tyrone Drakeford. A wonderful open field tackle.
There's another dump off and a good open field tackle, as you say. The Saints have to think aggressive now. They've got a long down and distance situation. I'd probably come in with a defense that would put as much pressure on Manning as possible, but yet would protect me deep. So maybe some type of zone dog situation where they bring the heat.
You don't want to put Joe Johnson on Marshall Faulk.
No, not that type of zone dog situation.
2nd and long. Faulk checks back into the game and gets the carry. Knocked down by Mark Fields after a pickup of 7. Let's throw it on down to the sidelines and Jim Gallagher. Jim?
Ray, thank you very much. Peyton Manning's father, Archie Manning, the former quarterback of the Saints, decided not to make the trip earlier in the week. He didn't want to be a distraction to his son. He made the right move. Manning and his wife Olivia are now in Mississippi because of Hurricane George.
Thank you, Jim. Now that opener, when Archie Manning was in the stands, he felt like his privacy was invaded because every time anything happened, they would put a camera on him, and he didn't feel comfortable with that.
And I think also Archie, for the sake of Peyton, doesn't want him to feel that extra bit of unnecessary pressure.
Oh, a nice touch pass over the middle to Marshall Faulk, and it'll be a first down for the Colts. How about that?
When I answered the internet question at halftime about the 2 quarterbacks and could Peyton be better than his father, well, this is an example of what I was talking about. He's got a very nice touch. He can throw the deep ball, and he can throw the intermediate ball, and he can be smart, and he's got great vision, but look at that. You don't teach that. You don't coach it. Either a guy can do it and has a feel for it, or he can't.
Don Davis, the man trying to cover Marshall Faulk. Faulk takes it over to the sidelines, a bit shaken up. It'll be first down and 10 for the Colts on the 36-yard line of the Saints. They'll run Zach Crockett into the middle, and he'll lose a yard.
And the thing I notice now is look at the amount of time the Colts have used on this drive. Look at the Fox box clock. Look at that right there. 9 plays, 45 yards, 6:30 in running. That's textbook. And you're looking at 2nd down. They're on the other side of the 50. A field goal with that amount of time being run down would be very detrimental to the Saints.
I'll tell you, with 4:35 left
very detrimental
in the 4th quarter, it's time for the Saints to make their move. And Peyton Manning and the Colts offense isn't letting them get their hands on the football.
Look how confident he is. Audible with time running down the play clock. Whoa.
Peyton Manning is sacked. Mark Fields and Keith Mitchell meet at the quarterback for a big loss.
And he went right over to Zach Crockett. Somebody's got to stay in to protect him. I mean, you cannot let people like Mark Fields just come off the corner and rip your head off, because these guys are so fast. Watch at the bottom. You got Mitchell and then Fields. I mean, nobody touches him. Tarek Glenn didn't even get out of his stance.
Peyton Manning barking out the signals. He'll hand it to Keith Elias. Elias up past the 40 to the 38-yard line on 3rd down. Not even near first down yardage as Kevin Mitchell comes up with the tackle. And the Colts will have to punt this one away.
Huge play by the Saints there. He's looking forward, getting his hand attended to, looks like. They're going to give the ball up, but they did damage by taking time off the clock. The clock is still running, and they're going to take all this 17 seconds left on the play clock to get this punt off.
Andre Hastings at his 10-yard line to receive the kick from Chris Gardocki.
Not take a delay of game.
And that's what they'll do as the play clock runs out.
Excellent time management by the Indianapolis Colts. And Ray, I don't want to, you know.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I hate to keep going back to this, Ray, but it's what I feel. You know, just talking to the players and coaches, what's going on back in New Orleans has to be a distraction. And when your family is back there and you want to know how everybody's doing and whether or not they're okay and how they're handling it, it's hard to concentrate on playing football.
The Saints come in looking to block this punt. They've got 9 men, up on the line of scrimmage. Good protection from the Colts. Gardocki hangs it high.
He's not getting a nice bounce out of this one.
Headed towards the end zone. And they're going to say, what a great special teams play by Ray McElroy, riding the wave into the end zone and tossing it back into the field of play, and they'll be down on the 4-yard line, and that's where the Saints will take over after a 40-yard punt. Nice little tightrope act by Ray McElroy. 13-7, the Colts. We'll be back in a moment. Ball game, 2:49 left in the 4th quarter. Danny Werfel out of the shotgun. Throws it outside. And they say this is complete to Andre Hastings.
That's a nice pickup there. Just the deep out. Technically a very safe route. And it looked like he stayed in bounds. Maybe the only bad thing about that. But you can see on the outside here, that's Burris. He's deep coverage. He's given a lot of cushion.
And you have to, really.
Yeah, you have to, and Werfel does a nice job of throwing the ball low and away.
Werfel out of the shotgun, working with 2 timeouts and just over 2 minutes left. He'll dump it off to Ray Zellers. Zellers brought down by Rob Holmberg after a pickup of 2 yards.
He's going to wait until the 2-minute and regroup.
And we will get to our 2-minute warning. And that will stop the clock.
That's a long ways to go for a quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience in just 2 minutes and 2 timeouts. Actually 1 now.
So the Saints are down by 7, looking to put some more points on the board when we return. What a difference a week has made for this Indianapolis defense. They have to hold off the Saints. They lead by 7. Werfel comes out of the shotgun. And he'll throw this one away as Tyrone Poole. And
that's a late flag.
As Tyrone Poole was over there jockeying with Shawn Dawkins.
And there's a case where the sidelines can help you, because the Saints sidelines went nuts on that play.
Defensive pass interference. Number 38. Automatic first down.
Tyrone Poole working against Hastings. Now Hastings is going to run a stop route. He grabs Poole. They're both grabbing each other. Boy, I don't know. They've both got each other. But if they see the defender grab receiver cloth, they're going to call it. And the Saints still have 2 timeouts. I was mistaken earlier. I said 1. They have 2 timeouts left.
First down for Werfel out of the shotgun. He's going for it all. And this is incomplete, intended for Shawn Dawkins. Jeff Burris with excellent coverage.
Now there's a case where Dawkins uses his bigger body to try to pull over the top of Burris. Now watch here. They're going to go bump and run man-to-man. I mean, this is football. 2 minutes, game tight. Burris chooses not to touch him. You see the way Dawkins tried to come over the top of that bigger body, but Burris, by great positioning, doesn't allow him to do it.
He got the left hand in there and made an excellent play. Dawkins, 6'4". They like to use his size ability to make plays. Second down and 10 from the 35. Werfel with the blitz coming. He's got plenty of time.
Nope, that's
throws it out of bounds. Intended for Andre Hastings. Brings up a 3rd down.
This isn't the situation the Saints wanted to put Werfel in, where he's got to win this game.
Right.
Granted, he's made some good throws today, but he's still not there as a quarterback to be able to take it down the field all the way, or at least that's what he's shown. He may do it now.
Werfel just 8 of 19 for 49 yards and an interception this afternoon. 3rd down and 10. With time, throws it over the sideline. And he's got his man Brett Besh for a 1st down. And the clock stops because they go out of bounds. Nice execution.
Nice execution, and then Besh gets out of bounds. He makes the catch, secures the 1st down. He makes sure he runs his route beyond the 1st down marker. Separation, a little push off there.
Push.
They don't. That's okay. They don't call that. But he knew where the marker was, and too many times we see guys cut off their routes.
1st down and 10. Werfel will go out of the shotgun. With time. Throws it over the middle, looking for Craver. It'll be incomplete.
Colts sending 5 at a time at Werfel. In these situations, a lot of teams will take that extra man, drop him back into coverage, and only bring 4. Clearly, they want to make sure that they get to Werfel and don't give him a chance to set his feet in this crucial time.
2nd down and 10. Werfel steps into the pocket. He gets knocked down and nailed by Tony McCoy. McCoy with the sack.
Once again, we talked about how this group got gashed last week and was under so much fire. The general manager, Bill Polian, said they better play better. The head coach said they better play better. And there's nothing worse, as you look at 61 McCoy fighting through, nothing worse, Ray, than playing a team the week after they've been beaten badly and embarrassed.
Now the Colts came into this game without a sack. They have 4 now and a 7-point lead. We'll be back with an exciting finish in just a moment. Coming down to the wire in the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. The Colts have a 7-point lead over the New Orleans Saints. 3rd and long for the Saints. They are 59 yards away from tying this thing up.
Now you got 1 timeout for the Saints, so they have to think on the perimeters, and then your 3rd down, and you got a long, long 17 to pick up.
Danny Werfel out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. They'll go over the middle. Looked like it was tipped away by Rob Holmberg. Trying to reach his receiver, Brett Besh. That'll bring up a 4th down now and 17.
Yeah, he actually had Besh, but Rob Holmberg, who's actually a perfect type of nickel linebacker,
great speed,
stayed deep because of his speed, stayed deep and was able to force that ball off the path.
So it'll come down to this for Mike Ditka and Danny Werfel and the New Orleans Saints. 4th down and 17. And the Colts crowd is getting into it. Werfel. Heaves this one deep. He's got a man open. And it is caught by Shawn Dawkins. What a huge play to keep this thing alive. Working on Tyrone Poole. Picks up 44 yards on 4th and 17.
They looked like they had the double coverage on the outside, Poole and Hawk, and for some reason Dawkins got a step on Poole, and we know Dawkins is a long strider and he can run, but when the ball was in the air, you saw the height difference.
And then the strength of Dawkins to take that thing away and reel it in.
I thought Hawk was going to really have a collision.
Werfel into the end zone. They're battling for it, and it is caught, and it is a touchdown
what a play
for Andre Hastings. And we're an extra point away from tying up. I don't know if Danny Werfel's praying or what he's doing. Maybe giving a little thanks for that one.
What a play. Two great plays by his receivers, and he took them down.
Well, they said they didn't want Danny Werfel to try to win it for him, but he had to.
And he did it.
And so now an extra point away from
he got him within time.
Doug Bryant on to tie it up with 41 seconds left in regulation. And it's good. And we are all tied up. With 41 seconds left, the New Orleans Saints strike and tie it up with the Indianapolis Colts 13-13.
I mean, those are two huge plays. The first catch by Dawkins. Now, there's a double coverage. That's why Poole's hanging outside. But for some reason, he looks too much inside. Doesn't time the leap right, because Dawkins really didn't have to go up and get the ball.
And Hawk mistimed it.
And Hawk mistimed the hit. And then here's the touchdown. This is just a great catch. The ball is there. That's one. Oh, I don't know if he got that second, unless they called it he was pushed out.
I think that's going to be the call.
That has to be the call. Forced out of bounds.
An unlikely 10-play, 96-yard drive, taking up 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Ties this one up with 41 ticks to go. Indianapolis will work with 3 timeouts when they get possession of the football, as Doug Bryant teeing it up to kick it deep to Elias and Clark.
If you want to be a great team, you have to make great plays in the crunch. The New Orleans Saints just made 2 great plays in the crunch. But it's not over yet.
Elias with a seam, breaks outside. He's got room, he's got the kicker to beat. And he beats the kicker, he goes out of bounds at midfield, but there is a flag down at the 32-yard line.
Yeah.
Be holding on the Colts.
Elias broke out of there so clean. A former New York Giant, I thought he was gone.
And Elias cannot believe it.
Holding during the return, number 59. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they got Rob Holmberg, the nickel linebacker, picked up from the Oakland Raiders in the preseason out of Penn State, the guilty party, and they'll try it from their 16 with 34 seconds left. It changes what you're going to do here with Peyton Manning.
It changes a lot of what you're going to do. And, you know, the Saints still have that 1 timeout left.
We'll see what the Colts do. Are they going to play for the overtime? Well, they'll run the draw. And Marshall Fault will take it out to the 20-yard line, and they'll let the clock run.
I think they're going to let it run. Mora wants to take his cards, line up, and do this one in OT.
Mike Ditka saying, watch for the long one. And Manning throws it outside to Marvin Harrison. Harrison gets out of bounds with 11 seconds left, up to the 28-yard line. And barring anything unforeseen, we're headed to overtime. First down and 10. Now handed to Fault. Fault, nowhere to go. Kevin Mitchell on the stop as the clock They stop with 4 seconds left. The Colts are going to take a timeout. Maybe they just want to take one shot into the end zone. Stranger things have happened, I guess.
The only reason I see to call timeout there is so you can come on and run
the Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary.
Put three.
Well, your percentages of making it at this point are so bad. I don't know. I think you just let the clock run out and then go on OT.
I like it. I like them to throw it up. I mean, why not? What do you have to lose? You're not going to.
Well, the way things have gone with them throwing at certain times today, it could be a lot to lose.
You're taking a bit of a chance, but I like it.
And they're not in a 3 wide out Hail Mary formation.
And that I don't like. I mean, what are you doing here?
Unless you're just going to nail them.
Just go for a one-on-one matchup and let it rip. And they don't. They hand it to Marshall Faulk. And Faulk will be brought down. And that is the end of regulation. We end it tied up 13-13, and we will play some overtime as Mark Fields makes the final tackle of regulation. And we're not done yet. Let's take a look at the overtime rules in the National Football League. It's a sudden death. The coin toss will determine possession. And the first team to score takes home a W.
And now is the time where all the coaches in the booth are talking to all the coaches on the sidelines, and they want to go through their sheets and figure what are our 3 or 4 best offensive plays, what are our 3 or 4
During
best
the overtime
defensive
in the
plays.
National Football League, the time in the fourth quarter is the same as the fourth quarter. Each team gets 2 timeouts. First team to score wins. New Orleans, visiting team, call it in the air, please.
Tails.
Tails is called. It's tails. New Orleans would like to receive. Which goal would you like to defend?
So the New Orleans Saints will get the first crack at it. They won that coin toss. 1 15-minute quarter. If they end up tied at the end of that, it'll be a tie. 2 timeouts per team. First team to score wins. It's 13-13. We'll be back with the overtime in just a moment. So it'll be overtime in the RCA Dome. I'm Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts, bringing you the exciting close to today's contest. And the team losing the coin toss has won both overtime games in this 1998 season. The home team 1-1. We'll see what happens here as the Colts will kick it off to the New Orleans Saints.
Finishing my thought earlier, this is like when you go back to what are our best plays. Let's start with those and stick with them. This is not the time to experiment. And if that doesn't work, punt it away.
Kadri Ishmael takes it from the goal line. Works it up to the 27-yard line before Rob Holmberg is able to bring him down. And Danny Werfel has the hot hand coming out here to lead this Saints offense. His best series, the last one.
Yeah, and actually, for Mike Ditka, I'd be happy now to see my offense go back on the field and see my young quarterback go back on the field because he's in his rhythm. You know, he just came down a 2-minute stretch, which was very stressful, and he made it happen, and now he's got to make it happen now in this overtime period.
Ray Zellers and Lamar Smith behind Werfel. Hastings goes in motion. And they'll pitch it to Smith. Toss right. And Smith gets forced out of bounds by Robert Blackman. Take another look at that touchdown pass that tied the ball game at the end of this regulation.
Well, the key to look for here is, was he forced out? And actually the key is, did he get that other foot down? I couldn't tell from there. But they called touchdown. If he didn't get the other foot down, then it would have had to have been only a touchdown by force out by the defender.
Jeff Burris had tight coverage, but there's nothing he could do. 2nd and 8. Werfel dumps it outside to Smith. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe.
See, very conservative coming out. They start with the run. The run has been good to them today. And then they go to an extended run, the little dump pass off in the flat. And now you're looking at a longer third down situation, a third native. You look at Danny Abramowitz here. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive.
He'll come with 3 wide receivers and put Werfel in the shotgun.
And notice they keep 2 backs in the backfield for protection.
Werfel's pass is incomplete. Looking for Shawn Dawkins. Burris on the coverage, and that'll bring up a punting situation. Mark Royals will come on for the Saints.
You know, Ray, the way coaches think in overtime, they want to be patient and they want to run all the good stuff and all that. But you know what? They want to win it as fast as possible and get out of here. So while they're saying they're patient, in a sense, they're also being very impatient.
Royals.
Ooh, that one.
Tyrone Poole. It takes a Saints foul. Poole will take it on the 7. He'll dodge one man and get it out to the 12-yard line. What a punt from Mark Royals.
There's no hang time on that ball.
But it was a 63-yard missile.
And he shot it out of there. Royals, a guy that's bounced around the NFL since '87, was actually a replacement player during the strike of '87 for the Rams, St. Louis Rams of now, LA Rams then, and the Redskins.
Led the league last year in punting. And it'll bring the Colts out. First down and 10. They'll get their first shot in overtime from their own 12-yard line. They'll give it to Marshall Falk off to the left side. Falk with a cutback. He's exciting in open space. Weaves his way up to the 20-yard line before he is brought down by Keith Mitchell.
That is all Marshall Falk. And it's been all Marshall Falk all day long. I mean, they're going to run the cutback play. He wants to start here and then come back toward us. He thinks he sees something outside. So, okay, maybe I better go back to where the play was originally designed. Nope, maybe I better go back to where I started in the first place. As a result, he gets about 8.
Yeah,
not bad.
On a 25-yard run, a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Manning looking for Harrison. Miscommunication. Manning thought Harrison would stop, and now they're jawing back and forth.
Another thing I like about Peyton is that he's not afraid to get in his receiver's face. And I'm not saying that a guy has to just belittle a teammate on national TV, but if you're the man, you got to take control. And all the good ones do that. The Marinos, the Elways, Jim Kelly, our guy, he used to do that better than anybody.
Yeah, he'd let you know.
He'd let you know if you messed up.
They're down and 2. The Colts better than 50% on 3rd down today. Peyton in motion. Manning dumps it out to Falk. Falk makes one man miss, but he can't make the rest of them miss. Mark Fields loses his helmet, but makes the play.
There it is. You come with your best plays. They came with the cutback play. They came with a throw that didn't work, a short throw, not the slant, and then the dump. We've seen all 3 of those plays throughout the game. That doesn't work, you punt the football.
Chris Gardocki will boom this one away. Brett Besh back to return.
He gets a nice one. Wow.
Punting battle. From the 21, Besh takes it up to the 28. A 58-yard punt, a 7-yard return. The Saints will take over at the 28. Stick around, because coming up next, we've got a good one, an NFC West battle. The undefeated Atlanta Falcons taking on the unbeaten San Francisco 49ers. Some of you will see the Vikings against the Bears in a classic NFC matchup.
Yeah, this is like a boxing match, too. You know, both fighters coming out, beginning of the match, kind of feeling their way through, kind of getting an idea of what the other team's going to do, what their game plan is, and how it's going to work out these first couple minutes.
Werfel runs the draw to Smith. Smith picks his way up to the 35-yard line. A nice gain of 6 on first down.
It's just been a consistent diet of Smith or Zeller.
And Smith just went over his career high previously, 148 yards. That's 152 yards on the ground today for Lamar Smith. 2nd down and 4. Cleveland in motion. They'll pitch it to Smith again. Smith will pick up 2 off the left side.
Interesting thing about that is that when Smith runs the ball, guess who his lead blocker is? Ray Zellers. And ironically enough, Ray Zellers had a big problem with the coach of the Indianapolis Colts today, Jim Mora, over lead blocking. That's when they got in that argument last year on the practice field, because apparently Zellers didn't want to go in a goal line situation and go full speed at fullback. And they had a little tiff, a little spat. And Ray said, when I get tired, when I get sore, when I feel I can't go on anymore, all I got to do is look to the sidelines and see Jim Mora, and I'll be A-OK. That's kind of that player-coach thing we talked about in the beginning of the show. And then you look on the other side, and there's the situation with Andre Royal and Mike Ditka that went on. Royal gets traded here to the Colts, and now he gets to face his old coach.
A lot of stuff going back and forth as Ellis Johnson is being helped off of the football field. Big Ellis Johnson's had a wonderful game. Tonight, the best night on television. It begins with an all-new World's Funniest. Then Bart unleashes a plague on an all-new Simpsons. Plus, you can relive your first toga party. I know you're going to enjoy that with that all-new 70s show, followed by a favorite, The X-Files. All starts tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox.
Now, your first toga party, that implies fraternity. That means you would have had to have been in college, and that means you date yourself.
Yeah. I remember crashing a few toga parties. 3rd down and 2. And this one will be stopped. Willie Roaf got an early start. They'll back the Saints up 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Go from 3rd to 2 to 3rd and 7, just like that, and that's an uncharacteristic mistake from the 4-time All-Pro Willie Roaf.
The Saints want so bad to get this win and go home 3-0, and now they got 2 at home, and they feel those are 2 they can win at home.
We've got New England coming in, followed by San Francisco. That'd be a nice battle. 3rd down and 7. Out of the shotgun, Werfel scrambles around. It's dropped by Lamar Smith, but he wouldn't have had a first down anyway, as Blackman was on the coverage, and Werfel took a shot, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, he takes a shot, but again, the toughness, he gets back up. But they're going to punt. This is the chess match that goes on in overtime games. And usually it's one mistake by someone that makes the difference.
First punt in overtime, Mark Royals bombed one 63 yards. Tyrone Poole will set it as point. It'll be down at the 9-yard line. A 60-yard bomb from Mark Royals will back the Colts up once again. Bobby April, he's an excitable guy, and he's all happy. See, it's all good over there on the Saints sideline.
It's all good. And the thing about Mark Royals now, like all punters, good punters, a punter is actually a defensive player. It's the first play on defense. So he's your defensive weapon in field position. It makes you think back to the Ray Guy with the Oakland Raiders. And whenever they got in trouble back there and were backed up, they could always get out of bad field position by just a good punt.
And this is dangerous for the Colts. You have to take care of the football in this area of the field, or this thing could be over before you know it. 1st and 10 from the 9. Marcus Pollard in motion. Manning on play action. Throws it behind Dilger. Ken Dilger not able to come up with the grab.
And if it's not for the pressure, it looked like Brady Smith was in his face on that rollout, that bootleg. He might have had Hastings down the sideline. But think of how much limited you are in what you want to do when you got your rookie quarterback backed up.
Right.
See, there's the pressure by Smith, 91. He's got to hurry the throw. He actually had Hastings right down the sideline.
2nd down and 10. Manning will throw again. Pumps once, drops it off to Falk. Over the middle, Falk with room. But there is a flag on the play. Falk knocked down by Chris Hewitt. But we'll see what the flag is, and it will be a personal foul, roughing the passer on the New Orleans Saints.
Personal foul, defense, roughing the passer, number 94, who went to the knee. First down.
Joe Johnson went low.
When Peyton Manning's father, Archie, played, they weren't calling hits to the knees on quarterbacks. That's the difference in the game. Top of your screen, 94, Joe Johnson.
Oh, man. He was just falling out on the rush.
But the way they call it now, I don't know if I agree with that call. Anytime you touch, it's a strike zone. From the knees to the shoulders, anything above that, those parameters, you cannot hit the quarterback.
Kevin Mitchell down for the Saints. And I think the Colts got a big break with that penalty call. Not only did they get the completion to Marshall Faulk, you tack on 15, and it brings them out to the 44-yard line.
How tough is Marshall Faulk? I mean, he's been getting tagged. Every time he gets tackled, it's by 5 or 6 guys. And this time, 2 Saints, they hurt themselves. Here's the hit.
I don't know. It's a weird thing with the knee. You never know. That was Faulk's 6th reception of the day for 128 yards and a touchdown, a career-high receiving day for Marshall Faulk. And Kevin Mitchell has done a great job at the middle linebacker for these New Orleans Saints. Had to fill in for Winfred Tubbs, who went to San Francisco in the offseason. They were worried about this in the preseason. But Kevin Mitchell has really raised his game up, led the Saints with 18 tackles coming into this one. He will be missed in the middle. They'll bring in Don Davis.
How about the incentive, though, for Marshall Faulk and, of course, Peyton Manning, 2 guys who went to high school down in New Orleans. And Marshall is running like he wants to run well for the home crowd.
We're in overtime, but coming up next, we've got a good one for you. It's the Falcons and the 49ers, undefeated. Both teams battling for the lead in the NFC West. First down and 10. Peyton Manning from the 44-yard line. 3 wide receivers in the game. He'll go play action. Looking outside. This will be picked off. Tyrone Drakeford takes it the other way down to the 31-yard line. Make it the 36-yard line. What a huge play from Tyrone Drakeford.
That's a guy they used to call Baby Prime. He was out there with prime-time Deion Sanders in San Francisco and learned a lot. Here it looks like he just sat on down underneath the comeback. He got right underneath it. It was a deep comeback thrown to the other side of the field. He doesn't really believe that Peyton is going to take him deep the whole time. He's not worried about his speed. He cuts it off and makes a huge interception.
Boy, it looked like he could have gone all the way except for the little bit of a trip from Peyton. But that's a huge play for the New Orleans Saints. And Peyton Manning, he held that ball too long, and it wasn't a good throw. 11th interception. That's the most in the NFL in his first 4 games since Steve DeBerg in '78. And Danny Werfel runs out of time. He'll have to take a timeout. Doug Bryan has kicked a 56-yard field goal. Of course, they're going to try and gain some yardage and bring him out here and end this thing. It's all tied up in overtime. New Orleans 13 driving the football. First and 10 for the Saints after the huge Tyrone Drakeford interception. They'll run it up the middle. He'll pick up maybe 2 as Lamar Smith gets the carry.
And then they got a guy named Doug Bryan who's done a pretty darn good job of kicking field goals this year.
A 56-yarder, a career long last week against Carolina, also hit a 46-yarder in that game. He could make it from here. If they kick one now, it'd be a 50-yard shot. Second down. Bootleg from Werfel. He's got his tight end wide open. Cleveland past the 20. He'll go into the end zone. Touchdown. This one's over. No flags. New Orleans will win 19-13. What a play. Werfel to Cleveland.
What a call. Give Danny Abramowitz, the offensive coordinator, the credit. Give the credit also to Danny Werfel for making it happen and to Cleveland for making the run after the catch.
A 33-yard touchdown in overtime, and Cleveland's going to hang on to that football. And the Saints roll to 3-0. They'll be tied with in first with either Atlanta or San Francisco. Let's go to Jim Gallagher down on the field with the winning quarterback, Danny Werfel. Jim?
Danny, congratulations for this team. Just tell me about the start.
Well, congratulations, Peyton. We just hung in there. We had a lot of bad things happen. We were hurting ourselves, and you just keep going. And we just thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving us the opportunity to be out here. Hopefully he's protecting the homes and families back in New Orleans, and try to get on with business. One
more question real quick, Danny, just about the 96-yard drive and how crucial that was. Going into the huddle, what did you tell your players?
Well, we just said that's a defining moment for a team, and we just got fortunate and went after it, so praise the Lord.
Danny, congratulations. Danny Werfel, let's head it back upstairs to